What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Live with the Kranky Canadian, and I am welcoming my episode 2 guest, Erod212, aka the Master Presser. All right, look at that, huh?
Liking that intro.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about it myself, and I've had a horrible day. What better way to end that day than to chop it up with one of my favorite people in the comic book community, Mr. Erod212. Say what's up, brother.
What's going on, comedy community? How's everybody doing? Erod212 here, hanging out with my man, the Kranky Canadian. As you can see, I got my 3 men in the basement. Always got to represent these guys. These guys are very good guys to me. So let's go have some fun right here, right now.
You know, all right, let's see who we. I'm going to check out who we got in the chat. So I'm going to say Wesley Campbell looked like he was first. Jay Salsa 23, Seuss Ortiz, the co-worker, Dave in the Cave. My 3 men in a basement brethren, Moonbase Alpha, Thunder Comics 904, Man Cave Chronicles, Paul PC 1974, Deep Dive Comics CLG. What's up, brother? Joe C, my man. Emerald Knight, Mike Akeem, Johnny Dakota, Mike at 4M Comics, Man from Deantown, Short Box Bernie 1869. And right off the bat, thank you very much, Joe C, for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. What's up, my brother, Roger and Erod? Can't wait to see how the cranky you are today. Well, you probably got a good chance of that because not a great day for me today. Philly born 21 SC. What is up, Mr. Wonkers, Randy Sloan? What is going on, everybody? Let me do, for that super chat. Yeah, all right. So I want to thank everybody. It looks like we got about 20, 25 people watching. And I appreciate everybody who's watching now, watching on the rewind. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you are not following 3 Men in the Basement, please do hit that notification bell so you find out when we're going live. If you do not follow Erod212, please go to his link. If you look in the description of this video, guys, to where it says show more, you'll see a link to Erod's Instagram account, and you'll also see a link to Erod's YouTube account. Always putting out a lot of great content. One of those guys that always comes into some lots from collections and loves showing them off and loves showing what they come back as. I got to tell you, one of the things I think I enjoy the most on yours is that road to a key. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
If anyone's not familiar with that, Erod is showing how he's buying books, selling books, so that he can, and he's showing you how much he's making off those books to see how long it'll take him to sell enough to get a key that he really wants. Did you ever say what that key was?
I believe I did. Actually, Matt Ford showed what I want, and that's an FF5.
Okay.
So that's my Grail book. I'm hoping to do it by the end of the year in that kind of a grade, like a 3.0, 3.5. I'm happy with that, But that's a book that I want. I've seen a couple of other guys. ETA Nick actually came up with this original idea. I tweaked it a little bit and put my own little spec and spin on it, but it's a lot of fun. Just you could see the profit, and it's amazing. Yeah. The key to it for me, I'm doing everything on eBay. I haven't bought a book. I'm trying to show people that every book that I've bought is a book I purchased on eBay. So I'll show the book that I purchased, and you'll see what I paid for it. And then the profit after everything comes along. It's all about grading and looking at the pictures really, really, really well. And if they don't have enough pictures, ask for pictures. I'm big on that.
Nice. I love it. I think, like you said, and the key is it's eBay stuff. It's not, of course, these guys just bought a great collection, or these guys are going to the Connecticut Comic Crawl, or of course, they're finding, no, you're doing everything on eBay, anything that someone could do right from their own home. Right.
Yeah, it's all
other than press it themselves.
Yeah, it's all little tricks and trades that you pick up, time frames and everything else. Looking for certain sellers, certain days that I buy on, and stuff like that. Like I said, stuff that other guys have talked about on videos. Like recently, I don't know if you saw the last one. I picked up a Batman 251 for $129 with shipping, and it came back in 8.0.
Unbelievable!
It was fucking unbelievable. So I upgraded my book, which is another thing I like to do also. Is upgrade my books and sell the lower ones, and just keep building it up. Yeah. Like kind of like what Gary was talking about, what he's built up some of his books.
You build equity in the smaller books, and
that 251, I started out with a 5.5, and I've built my way up to an 8.0 now.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I wish I would have, I've never even thought of that. Never even crossed my mind. When I'm trying to buy what would be my grails, and never even crossed my mind early in my collecting. Like, just get a lower grade and work your way up. Like I was always trying to hit for I needed it at a 9.8, or I needed it above an 8.5. So that's great for any new collectors that are out there. They're thinking, how the hell am I ever going to be able to get a 9.0 ASM 121? Well, you buy low and you work your way up.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys doing it.
So we all know that you collect comic books. So I tend to find, talking to people, when you get someone who's this into collecting comics as we are, comics isn't the first thing that you collected as a kid. We're collectors at heart. So what was the first thing, unless comics was it, what was the first thing you collected?
It was a tie. It's comics and baseball cards.
Okay.
But I have that typical story. Mom threw away all my baseball cards when we moved, and I lost a lot of the comics too. But I think
we still love our moms, but
I love it to death. But you don't need this. This is garbage. And we're talking. I'm a young kid, so in the 70s and 80s, early 80s, a lot of late 70s, early 80s baseball cards. So you're talking Tom Seaver rookies, stuff like that. Not Tom Seaver, but those guys in the 70s and stuff that were coming out.
Yeah,
a lot of good cards. But it is what it is. But I've been collecting on and off for about 40 years.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I you know how it is. You collect as a young guy. And then life gets in the way, school, life, wife, kids.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Then you come back to the hobby again, and you come back stronger than ever.
Last week we were talking with Matt Forge and Jada Butch, and we're talking about, I think that's why the industry's blowing up right now, because all the people who loved comics as kids now have a little more cash in their pocket to make a little more expendable income to be able to spend on the hobby.
I say it all the time. When the guys start hitting their 30s and they have that expendable income, you chase what you loved. So now this generation of guys are all chasing, and you see them, Transformers, G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
That's the stuff they grew up on, the cartoons they grew up on. So they're chasing that hard.
Yeah, like we said,
He-Man.
You said at your show, sitting in front of the TV with a bowl of cereal.
Oh, that is the best, man.
So what's your favorite comic in your collection?
X-Men 1, because it's my holy grail. It's probably it's probably not even my most expensive book, but it's the book I have always coveted. I have a 2.5, which I hope to someday upgrade.
I would say I'm sure you're going to be looking to upgrade that from sure.
Somewhere along the line. But I bought it at the right time, so I think when I got it for $1,600. And another thing I find you'll find in community when you deal with certain people, time payments. So this guy was a reputable dealer who let me make time payments on it.
Oh, good. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Everybody knows mine, right?
Yeah, but that's a great story. That is such a great story.
That's what started the whole
down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, really, just my my next question. Anything quirky that you collect? Like everybody knows I collect cover swipes of this hip hop variants. Not most of them not worth anything. I just think it's a neat thing to collect. Do you have anything like that you collect just cause?
Comic related or other than comic related?
Let's keep it comic related.
Comic related, I was more of a run guy. I collected runs forever. So and variants for the longest time. Like you watch Justin now, that was me 4 or 5 years ago. I was a variant whore. I was just chasing variants everywhere you went. So I have quite a few of some higher end variants that I've picked up along the way as time has come along. The X-23 Delato, I own that. The Venomized X-Men with the Deadpool, I own that. There's just quite a few that, and my Miles Morales, which is now the biggest book I got there out of all those variants. That book is just crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's great. A lot of those variants are blowing up. We don't even know why doing.
It's insane. If you watch the Fiona Staples one, it's the one where, and it's not even from his first title. It's his second ongoing story where he's running along the cars like he did in the movie. That just sold for $2,000 in a 9.8.
That's out of control.
I got that for cover price.
and you and a lot of people. That's
crazy.
So do you actively collect anything else besides comics? I mean, I know you mentioned baseball cards, but
baseball autographs is the big thing. And for a long time, I was a baseball autograph hound. I used to go to the stadiums, get autographs at the stadiums. I used to do the press gate. It was a way to bond with my oldest son when he was young. So we would go to the Yankee press gate, watch all the players come in, get autographs from the players and everything else. It was good. It was a lot of fun. So I got a 99 team bat signed by the entire team.
Really?
99 World Series ball signed by the team. 98 Sports Illustrated, which is the one with the jigsaw puzzle, but they put the pieces in it.
Yeah.
And the key autograph there was Hideki Arabu, because he committed suicide. I got him one time. He only did one signing, and that was a one signing out of like some sports place in California. And then he passed away. And then the other thing I collect, I'll show you. I am a huge, some people know, but not most. I am a huge original series Star Wars fan. So I was in 2010, before all the new movies were coming out, and there wasn't a lot of hype. I fell down this rabbit hole of collecting Star Wars autographs.
That's awesome.
So like this is signed by David Prowse with the caption, "No, I am your father, Darth Vader." David Prowse. Those of you that don't know, David Prowse is the man who bodied Darth Vader. James Earl Jones is the voice, but David Prowse was actually a English bodybuilder. This is signed by
that's
Ian
freaking
McDermott,
dope.
who is Emperor Palpatine. And
dope.
actually got to meet him.
Collect these? Did you get it autographed, or just autographs that you collect?
No, I got some of this stuff I've gotten in person. I was going to shows. They would have shows with a lot of these actors and stuff like that. The first time I got Carrie Fisher, I only paid $30 for her.
Wow.
So I got like this.
Oh, claim right there, pal.
Yeah. But then this is
a lot of young boys happy that thing.
Oh man, you are so right. And then this is my prize piece right here.
Oh my god, that is freaking dope, dude. Is that every one of them?
This is signed by the entire cast except for Harrison Ford.
Really?
Harrison Ford wants like $2,000 for his autograph.
Oh, for Christ's
and
sakes.
I'm not paying it. But at the time, like I said, Mark Hamill and those guys were only like $30 a piece. So I was getting these guys. But it's signed by like the person who played Admiral Akbar, the guy who played Neen Noom,
that's awesome.
the Wicket. I mean, it's got everything. C-3PO, it's everybody.
I almost called my dog Wicket. I have a Shih Tzu.
I like that. So yeah, that's one of my prized possessions.
That is awesome, because that was going to be my next question. Is do you have something in your overall collection that you don't get to show very often?
Yeah, this has only been shown like twice. This has only been shown like 2 times, maybe.
See, guys, that's what you get with Live with the Kranky Canadian.
Right.
Who'd have thought how big of a freaking Star Wars fan you are? You know?
Yeah, and I love the new stuff. And I mean, Disney Plus is just taking it to another level. But for me, that original trilogy, I just we all kind of grew up on that.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because when my kids were growing up, TNT was playing the reruns, and then they got into it. So it's like a huge family thing in my house. So we were actually going to Disney this year to go to Star Wars part of it in Florida, and my vacation got canceled with COVID.
Yeah. Bertie says you should run a shame campaign on social media. Get everybody to force him to sign that thing for you for nothing.
Yeah, right. Imagine that. Oh my God. Yeah, it's been 10 years of work. I actually added one last year at New York Comic Con. I added Billy D. Williams.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
How did he react when he saw that thing?
He was pretty cool with it. My son was the one that went up to him, and he said he was pretty nice, but he's kind of old now, so he's a little shaky. But I wanted to see if somebody brought him a Colt 45 to have him sign a Colt 45. That would have been what I would have liked to see.
That's something Jay would do.
Yeah, right. Right up Jay's alley.
I got some more people in the chat. The brother has shown up since we last. Let me see. The Butcher. I saw the Matt Guy Forge in there. Bernie 1869. Again, thank you everybody that's in the chat. We got 45 people watching now. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, hit that like button, notification button so that you get notified. So, tell them why you mad. Is there anything in this comic collecting game today, right now, that just ticks you off that you're like, you know what? I got something to say.
There's a couple. I'll give you my first one. It's the second print variant ratios. What the fuck is that, man? It's a second print, and now you're making it a ratio? All they did was take the inside page, not original art, take a panel from the inside and put it on that cover and make it a ratio. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Because that thing drives me nuts. And it's kind of why I steered for a long time away for a couple of years. I stopped doing variants, and then talking to you guys, I got fucking sucked right in again. I blame Jay every day.
He's chasing them nulls and
yeah, man. And it just you get caught up in the hype, and then watching Dave in the Cave with all his Spider-Man variants and some of the shit he pulls. It's amazing, So
and some of it's really cool because it's a different artist doing a different cover, and I think a lot of the ones that you see from like Dave and Justin that they collect, it's really what it is. It's a an artist that they love doing a different cover. But I agree with what you're saying. When they take an interior page, which would be a first appearance or something like that, do a 1 in 25 second printing variant, slap that on the cover,
See, like Dave collects like those the Ditko Spider-Man ones, which were like 1 in 100, 1 in 500. A lot different than what you're doing now. It's a brand new book. It just came out. Second print's going to go to a 1 in 25 ratio. That's a money grab. That's just a pure money grab.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. And it's very and I decide, especially with this whole null thing, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't work 12 hours a day, try to do stuff with YouTube, there's just so much you can do. And God bless the people who were able to jump on those things and be able to flip them, because I'd be making my money if I could, but I just can't keep up to the point where I'm like, if I miss something, then it's not worth it. And if I buy everything, I'm going to be broke. So
I just got lambasted by a guy on eBay. I think I showed you guys. This guy sent me a scathing letter on eBay. He sent me mail, basically wishing me cancer for selling variants of pre-sale.
You did show that to us.
It was terrible.
Little extreme.
Yeah,
just a little bit extreme.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on a little rant here. So what I'm going to bring up is mystery boxes. And I like the idea of a mystery box. It's hit or miss. We've all watched the whole, dismantling of Torpedo Comics by this community, because if you don't win the grand prize, you get $10 worth of books for $100 or $200 box. Someone like Gary right off the bat won a grand prize, so he continues to buy them, and he says, I feel bad complaining. No, you should not feel bad complaining. If you get a mystery box, okay, you gotta have the books have to be, if you're gonna do the whole grand pricing, you gotta at least make the box worth 80 to 90% of what you paid for it. And then, then it's a gamble. The ones that really tick me off are those $30, $40 ones from the companies who give you $10 worth of books. But those books have a sticker on them that say $25.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Let me tell you something. If you're going to sell a mystery box, okay, then just be confident that what you're putting in there, people are going to like. But if you feel the need to tell me you think this is a $25 book, it's not a $25 book. Get the hell out of here. Just because you took 5 books and put $25 on every one of them doesn't mean that I have a $125 box. Take the sticker off. Just quit trying to fool us. We're not idiots.
I'll tell you worse than that. He's buying overstock inventory from people and putting them in those boxes.
Yeah.
So I've seen it a bunch of times. So let's say I'm going to make it up, or Rogers Comics has a variant, and he doesn't sell out all his Virgin variants. I come along and say, hey, I'll give you this much to buy it bulk. You buy it bulk, and now you put them. You've seen mystery boxes where every box has the same book.
Yeah.
Mix it up. That's my thing. Mix it up.
And like I said, in this book, the box that I got this in, there were 3 books that had $25 slapped on there. Mm-hmm. Okay, at best, a $5 book if I bought it at a show or something like that. Yeah. Stop it. We're not idiots. Either be proud of your mystery box, be confident that people are going to like it, or stop selling mystery boxes. All right? That's all I got to say about that. All right.
That's why I haven't put out a mystery box. I'll be honest. I haven't put one out because I'd want to have the product that would make everybody happy. But you still have to make a profit on these boxes. If that's the reason you're doing the boxes, is to make a profit.
Right. So, I mean, why else are you doing it?
Why else am I going to go through all that effort? So it's a lot. You would have to be buying a lot of stuff that you got cheaper and being able to give people that value.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I mean, if you do one set of mystery boxes, look what Justin did. Right. He's got years of stuff that he's bought, had slabbed, come back at 9.8 or whatever. Okay, and then a book blows up. He's not a lot of money into those books, so he can make his money and still give everybody what they think, give them more than what it's worth. Or
that's the way to do it.
But you got a company who does like you say, buy bulk, leftover, overstock, those types of things, slap a $25 sticker on it and say, yeah, they'll be happy with this. That's frustrating.
Right. So that, as we were talking about that one, buying overstock, but Torpedo gets their own books made. They're paying nothing. Nothing on that book. They pay the artist for the page. They have to buy, it's usually, I believe it's $3,000 of the regular cover to get $1,000 of the Virgin. And they paid whatever the cover is. It's a scam. It's a scam.
Butcher, let's be honest here. Box Hero's been garbage, and Torpedo's even worse than that. See, I disagree with that, Jay, because I'm always happy with my Box Heroes. I've never gotten one and didn't think I at least got my $30 worth. And what I liked the most about them is that first round you would get some signatures and some variants. This next round I was getting 15, 25-cent books. I mean, it was a completely different type of box.
Comic Vantage has done a decent job too with his mystery boxes. I bought a couple of those, and I've never had a bad box. You get your money's worth.
Justin, those 3MIB mystery boxes were great. Shout out to Nemesis. I just did so, but it's true, and I don't know if they can keep that up forever. I mean, how much inventory can you have to send out these many $30 boxes and continue to get your money's worth? But. Right.
So Universe says I'd rather spend on a spec book than buy a mystery box. Yeah, it depends on the box though. So I bought the Mr. Let mystery box, and that was the best box I ever bought, man.
Would I ever buy those books in a while? I guess that's a good question. I guess if I was worried about whether or not I got books I would buy in a while, then I wouldn't buy a mystery box. I mean, what's cool is it's kind of brought my collection into areas I never thought it would, and yeah, some of them I may just sell back out, and some of them I do keep my collection. But no, I guess maybe 25% of the books I've gotten in those boxed heroes I would have bought if I found them in the wild. So
that's another thing. That's absolutely right. You know what? It might have that value, but I never would have bought those books.
Yeah,
certain books I would never have bought them. It's why I stick to what I know the best. I still dabble in the modern a lot, but for predominantly I'm a bronze and silver guy.
Yeah. All right. Who's your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero.
DC. We'll do one for DC, one for Marvel.
Okay. I'm not gonna go the obvious because the obvious for me would be Wolverine. But I'll give you my second favorite character, and that's gonna be Cyclops.
Nice. Really?
He's so complex. If you read what he's done and you follow his career throughout the comics, the movies do that character no justice. Remember, that guy leads the team forever. Has lost his wife, has lost his kid. I mean, he's gone through so much angst and pain. It's a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. I don't know if you saw I recently picked up that statue.
Oh yes, Cyclops one.
The Cyclops one. Yeah, I can't. There you go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that to me, that's the iconic Cyclops to me.
You replaced Wolverine.
What's that?
You replaced Wolverine.
You can't replace Wolverine. Nothing replaces Wolverine in my eyes. Listen, short, angry man, that's me right there. That's me written all over.
Give me some claws and I'll take over the world.
I would have taken off everybody's head. 20-year-old me would have gutted everybody.
Good thing I didn't have claws at that car dealership today, car place today. How about DC? What's your favorite?
Gonna go with the iconic. I gotta go with Batman.
Yeah.
I just love everything about I think it's the story writing more than anything and the complexity, and I like the Batman relationships that he has. So like one of my favorite DC characters is Damian Wayne, and I love the interaction between him as father and son. It's fantastic.
Really? And so we talked about last week, like when I was a kid, I didn't collect comics. I used to go to comic stores with my older brother. He's about 5 years older than me. I had a handful of rock and roll comics and some Wolverine origins. So I didn't really start collecting comics till I met Otto.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so what's that?
So like 13 years, something like that. He was like, I got an extra ticket to this con in Rhode Island. You want to go? So I dressed my son up. We went to this thing, and next following year, I'm dressed up in cosplay stuff.
Wait a minute, you cosplayed?
Yeah, you never saw the pictures of us?
Oh, that. So that's you in that group shot?
Yeah. So the first year we just went as we went as the Justice League. So I was Clark Kent. I had the shirt open and the dorky glasses on with the Superman t-shirt. Everett was Black Adam. And the kids were all different parts. People just went nuts. So the big shot that you have of us, I'm Deathstroke in that picture.
Oh, okay.
And Everett is Cyclops, and my daughter was Raven, my son was Green Arrow. It was a lot of fun, but you don't know what's coming. You get all excited. I'm like, this is actually really cool. And this is like remembering my childhood. But so growing up, all I had and my favorite thing to watch over and over was Superman 2.
That's a great movie, though.
So, and I could still to this day watch it every day, 5 times a day. So that's why by far is my favorite superhero in the DC universe. You can't beat Superman. And Marvel, I'm a Spidey guy. Spider-Man is
shout out to my man Chase Salsa. He gave me these posters. These are
nice.
Posters. He's in the chat right now, so just shout out. You see, I've been collecting for a long time. I've been collecting since I was 10.
Wow.
On and off. But my father and my uncle were avid readers. So they passed it along to me. My dad got me into reading when I was a kid. And then when I moved to Staten Island, I met a bunch of kids that were into comics, and we used to like ride up to the smoke shop and fucking off the spinner rack and pick comics. And I read there. I used to actually have a paper out as a young kid, and another thing you don't know.
I know, trust me.
And my mom used to write a check for me, and I would mail it to Marvel. And you used to cut out that box and pick the titles you want. And I used to get the books mailed to my house.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Shout out to CLG for a $20 super chat. Love the new show, brother. And when is Erod going to be the 5 MIV? He's already NY Warrior.
I'm an NY Warrior. Yeah, I'm an honorary member.
Yeah, you're an honorary member for sure. And that super chat gets
But you guys, the 3 men in the basement and the Warriors are kind of very similar.
I think so, yeah.
Same values. That's why we get along with each other. So it's just a group of guys, local communities that just, interact with each other well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Even when we're on each other's shows, it shows off. Whether it's Joker, Biggie's been on our show.
Yeah, it was, like you were saying, going to the cons, whatever. That's the way, like me, Manny, Joker, when we go to New York Comic Con, or Big Apple, and we all go together. It's a blast, man. It's so much better when you got a group of guys to go with.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, we're all in now. Now I go Fridays to Terrificon, whatever, and now I have a living room in the corner. It's got something like 50 short boxes. So it's boy, that escalated quickly is the only thing that comes into my mind. But it's been a blast. It's some of the most fun I've had as far as being with a group of people. All right, how about your favorite villain, DC and Marvel?
Favorite Marvel villain? It's a toss-up between. Well, I'll give you the one. I have to pick Magneto.
Okay.
But 1B would be Doctor Doom. Characters I grew up on those characters, but Magneto is so involved. He's that anti-villain. He's really not a villain in certain ways. I mean, he'll kill an entire world just to save mutant mankind. But that's with him. And I'm going to give you a surprise one on DC, and the reason is I'll explain it after I tell you. Gorilla Grodd. Okay, and the reason is when I was a kid, my dad was a big Barry Allen fan, so I read Barry Allen, Flash, forever. Everybody's Wally West is Flash for a lot of people. For me, Barry Allen was the Flash. So when he died in Infinite Crisis, I was like, oh my God. And they didn't bring him back for years. Yeah, spoiler alert. If you haven't read that from 30 years ago.
Sorry for that, guys. We should have known it. So mine is villain for Marvel is Carnage.
Okay.
So I'm very much so looking to see Sony butcher him. And then DC is Deathstroke for sure.
So Emerald Knight puts, whose logo is better, Erod or Otto's?
Mine.
It has to be mine because mine was first. Otto came after. So the original is always the best.
Is that so? I think that one right there has got them all.
That's a good one, though. That's a good one. I like that.
All right. So we, I don't know, a few months ago, we were doing a live show, 3 Men, and I threw a question at them that kind of caught them off guard. So a lot of us identify with what we do, and we show that on social media. All right. So what is something about Erod that nobody would know about you just by looking at your social media? Give you an example. When we did it, mine is I love the theater. We don't, a hip hop guy that loves comics don't usually associate with the theater, but I do. And I listen to Hamilton on a regular basis. I know every word from front to back of that album. What is something you would never be able to tell by looking at any stick of mine.
I'm going to tell you, and I told you before, when I found out you were a hip hop head, that threw me off. That threw me for a loop. You were not my typical hip hop guy.
No, I'm not. I'm not a typical anything, to be honest with you.
I'm going to fuck you up because originally I'm a big metal guy.
Really?
So, yeah, Metallica, Iron. So just quick story, and showing my age. As a kid in high school, I went to see, there's a place called the Palladium, which was the dance club, but before it was a dance club, it used to be a theater that did heavy metal shows.
Sure, I remember that.
I went to the Palladium to see Ozzy Osbourne with the Blizzard of Oz.
No kidding.
Got to see Randy Rhoads, and the opening act for them was Motorhead.
No kidding.
Better than that, though, I go to see Judas Priest, same place, opening act for them, Iron Maiden.
No kidding.
Iron Maiden when they were first coming up, Killer's album.
Yeah. No kidding.
It was fantastic. But I am also a big hip hop guy too.
That's right. You did throw me for a little bit. Big shout out to D-Type Comics for the $10 super chat. I'm subbed up to everyone with a wrench and many in the chat. So just everybody do the same. Support the comic book community. Appreciate that, brother. It means a lot to us. Everybody in this community. So let's do a super chat. Yeah. How about Karate Chop 2? I haven't done this one yet. I don't know if you've ever seen this one, Erod, or if the people in the chat have, but this was like an extension that Justin made on that one. Yeah, Karate
Chop! See that? That's great. That's my boy, but that is classic. Was that not one of the funniest things ever? And he takes it well. He's good with that.
So that's I never would have guessed that because I also was in high school a big metalhead. I seen a lot of. We had a couple little bars like that, a little bit smaller in Palladium, where I got to see some good acts up close. And
Twisted Sister used to play right by me, right down the block from me all the time. But
cool.
like Metallica was right in Jersey when they first came up. I mean, they came from San Francisco, but then they played in like the roller rinks in New Jersey. But I remember listening to, I mean, so many bands that went on to be.
My brother wants to know if you saw Maiden with Paul DeGarmo.
Paul Di'Anno, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly what I saw.
That's unbelievable.
It's a small club, and then he was gone. Remember, he cut that album and then gone. It was fun. I got to see the Police when they first came out too. Just as a loop, I was out with some girl and she wanted to see the Police, and it turned out to be a great band, But Metallica's my favorite. I think I've seen them 4 times.
Yeah, I've probably close to 10. I've
10
seen
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best time I had, we did the Big Four. That was at Yankee Stadium, and they played Yankee Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, and
was it Megadeth?
Megadeth. That was it. It was fantastic.
I bet.
It was fantastic.
I bet.
And then I saw the Death Magnetic tour, and Lamb of God opened them for them.
Oh,
and
that's
I don't
insane.
know if you've listened to Lamb of God. They were great. They were great.
Yeah, that was like Slipknot. I saw them on stage 2 of Ozfest here at an outdoor thing here. They were just starting.
That's
made a mistake again, a little bit close to the mosh pit on that one. For sure.
I got a mosh pit story for you. But same thing. I went to see, I'm trying to think who it was, but Hell Yeah was the opening band. And I got too close to the mosh pit. And I'm older now, and it was fucking pounding. I'm not Mark. My man Marky 306 still goes into the mosh pit if he gets a chance,
That's crazy. I mean, the worst I ever saw is Rage Against the Machine. When we saw them with, I saw them with Wu-Tang, actually.
Okay.
And at the Civic Center. And I don't know, just from the excitement of Wu, and the place was just packed. Couldn't even get to our seat.
Method Man's LCS was our local shop, right? My LCS was Method Man's LCS.
Oh, yeah? You ever run into him there?
Yeah, run into him in the supermarket.
No kidding.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he seems it. That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, but I cut you off. I apologize.
No, that's something I can't say. I don't run into anybody other than when I worked at ESPN for a while. I ran into a lot of people, but
you worked for ESPN? Wow.
I used to work for an electrical contractor. I did a lot of work inside the buildings. We do like a little works in studios, smaller projects. So you'd get into these little studios and radio studios and stuff, and you see a lot of the talent there.
Look at Thurls.
Shout out to Thorough for a $10 super chat. Shout out to my favorite Kranky Canadian besides Drake.
I'll give you the flip side to that, Roger. Is last year they do a big show over here at Randall's Island called Governor's Ball.
Okay.
And it's a hip hop show. And I was there with my son, and we went to see Denzel Curry.
Oh, no kidding.
And it was fantastic. I had a blast. So just both sides of the spectrum, man.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I think the most rap groups I've ever seen were at metal concerts. Like Family of Values, I saw Mobb Deep, I saw Lost Boys.
Mobb Deep,
that's
an anthem right there.
Run DMC. I've seen Wu-Tang. It's just most of them were with metal groups.
Yeah, well, they used to do those big tours. I used to do the Linkin Park would do a Project Revolution tour. And that was a good show, and they would have a little bit of everything. It was an all-day event, but
that's how Family Values was. Yeah, started off with Korn, and then Limp Bizkit ended up headlining it.
Korn's a good band, man.
Yeah. All right, so we never know where the conversation is going to take us. This is awesome. Thanks a lot. All right, so favorite childhood cartoon.
Herculoids.
That's awesome.
Remember, Gloop and Gleep.
Yeah. You think about that. When you think back then, the nostalgia of those cartoons, and then Space Ghost, and then Dino Mutt, and Blue Falcon.
I was dying when you guys were talking about that, because I remember watching that. And Space Ghost.
Space Ghost, yeah. Yeah, mine was Spider-Man: Amazing Friends and Thundercats were my 2 favorites.
Thundercats was another good one.
Yeah. I just couldn't wait till those came on, and the Hercules, that whole Hanna-Barbera, you had the whole.
That was some good stuff. I could still go back and watch it, even though the animation is kind of cheesy on it. But like when Tantro would be shooting like the things right out of his horn and everything.
Yeah, what are those things, man?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
It's funny when you look at the chat and you see like the different you could see the different age brackets here. Like, yeah, I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I was a little older when I came out, so it's not what I really synonymous with my childhood. Look at my brother, Cat and Caveman. That was another one.
Remember that?
Caveman, yeah. Hong Kong Phooey, Cat and you had that whole Laugh Olympics. So you had Snagglepuss and Huckleberry Hound and all those.
Remember the Rankin and Bass ones, like Sigmund and the Sea Monster and all of those terrible things with those people and puppets? They're hilarious, bro.
So much kids watch now. I mean, you look at some of the stupid shit that the Forever Show. Like, I'm looking at something like, what the hell is this? It's like a bad version of Piccolo and Rick. What the hell is that freaking?
Yeah, see, I'm not up on that stuff.
No, the comic book, Rick and Morty. Yeah, the kid version of that. That's how bad the drawing is. It's like, Rick and Morty gets away with it because it's hysterical.
Inhumanoids. I don't remember that. Do you remember that? Inhumanoids? No. Jay Salsa's talking about that. I'm gonna have to look at that.
Inhuman? ISIS?
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Wow, she's done the comics showing that age.
Yeah, he's a little younger than us. Huh?
But you know what's funny? Thunder Comics. I'll make you laugh. This show you my age. I was watching the X-Men cartoon with my oldest son when he was young, and that's how I came back to comic books. Bringing superheroes to my son's world. Yeah. The Spider-Man cartoon, which was fantastic.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah, the one with the X-Men, the 90s one.
Yeah. We're talking about the one with the Iceman and Firestar.
No, not that one. The one that was on Fox later on. That ran for a few years.
Later on.
Yes, in the 90s.
I got you.
It runs in the 90s. That thing was fantastic. I could watch that. I've actually gone on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus and watched it. Sat down and watched it because it's that good.
Yeah, Super Friends and Tom and Jerry. Good one. Bernie 1869.
Dave in the Cave said he's got his youngest son hooked on it. Dave, I don't know if you saw it, but they look like they're signing a deal to start more animated with Marvel, with Disney to do the animated series.
Yeah, and it'd be stupid not to bring back some of this stuff. Like you said, the people consuming it are the people that have money to spend on it. Yeah, the Transformers. Remember that? You get an hour, you get 10 minutes. You get 10 minutes into the Transformers movie, and everybody's dead.
Yeah, but the cartoon was good.
Yeah,
the cartoon was really good.
Yeah. I watched them. I have a service that I use where I'm able to download whatever I want, and I started watching those with my son.
Yeah.
It brings back the memories from back when you were a kid. But they're not as good as you remember. You ever see that? Like, you watch these things.
All right.
I love this.
I'm going to give you another example of that. I grew up watching we called it Channel 5 Karate, but Saturday morning karate. Remember the karate flicks? Like 5 Deadly Venoms.
Yeah, they also had Tarzan. It was like karate and Tarzan.
Watch one of those movies now. I mean, they stand the test of time because I love them, but it's terrible. Like when you watch the guy's arm cut off, it's like pouring blood. Like
the translation from Japanese to English. Like the mouth moves 10 minutes after he stops talking.
It's the same 4 people narrating every movie.
Yeah. That and my old man used to love sitting. Once the cartoons and all that was done, the show was Tarzan.
Johnny Weissmuller Tarzan.
Yeah,
I grew up on that too. My uncle was
like there was either, I think that was after wrestling. It was either before or after wrestling on Sundays. Come home from church, you watch wrestling, watch Tarzan.
And my grandfather used to watch Abbott and Costello all the time, so we watched Abbott and Costello before the Yankee game.
Yeah, that's good memories, man. It's funny how all this stuff, everything we do, really, it's like trying to capture a piece of that again, and especially trying to share it with your kids.
So segueing to that, this is what I talk about all the time. We do this and we try and capture that. Do you not think that the next generation is going to do that also? So what's the next generation going to chase? Miles Morales is that character that every kid is going to remember that movie and chase, and all the other superhero stuff that,
Spider-Gwen.
Yes, in watching it on his TV screen, and now they get to chase it. That's why those are good comics will never die. I don't think the print runs, that medium will ever stop.
Well, the thing also is comics are geared towards kids. The fact that we enjoy it for the nostalgic part of it doesn't mean you're going to stop getting the people behind it. They say that the older, more people die, the least popular baseball gets because the kids aren't getting into it. You know, this is the opposite with comics. These are geared towards kids. They're characters that they can, you know, fight in crime and like you said, they keep it fresh with the Miles Morales, the Spider-Man.
That's all it is keeping it fresh. And there are a lot of guys, the older guys, that were anti that and anti. There's room in the world for 2 Spider-Man, just like there's room in the world for 2 Gwen Stacy's.
Yeah,
you know, you're seeing it. You look at the Batman Who Laughed. Now that thing, you know, that's Bruce Wayne. That's good stuff. Make it fresh. Keep it fresh for everybody.
I don't know if they'll keep both Spider-Mans together, but I think
I don't think so. I think it'll run parallel to each other. They'll be separate. They'll meet up for team ups every once in a while and everything else. But you know, it runs its own course. Dave in the cave's looking for an ASM 4.
Yeah, right.
Dave has none of them. Just so you guys know, he really needs one bad.
He's been putting all his money into the Silk book.
That's what I'm talking about. That's ASM 4.
How many you say? I think he was sending out like 5 to get graded. To get graded.
It was 5 plus the variant, the Ramos variant. So he had 6 in there.
Yeah.
Attention span.
But the thing is they're. I think that the companies are kind of giving the kids that with these movies. You know, it's like they see the movies and then they try to relate that to comic books. I don't know if the kids' attention span, you know, if comics move more towards a digital release as it does paper, but I have a hard time seeing.
I think as long as you write good stories, people will come. So we're fortunate now in having Scott Snyder and what he did with Court of Owls, and Donny Cates, what he's done with Thor and Venom and Cosmic Ghost Rider and the other guy who was writing Thor, God of Thunder, Jason Latour, is it? It's that person, whoever was writing that Thor, God of Thunder. That's a great read. So you got good new writers that are writing fresh stuff that's still
stuff Tom King is writing is pretty good. I started reading that Strange Adventures. You know what he did with Batman was pretty good. I agree with you. As long as and there are there's a lot of writers out there who are willing to do comics now, as opposed to 50 years ago, where you know, like, oh, you're not good enough to write a novel, go write for comic books. Now,
Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance wrote fucking The Umbrella Academy.
Really?
Yeah, that show was written by him.
It's not a disrespect anymore, you know, because it's good stories.
Well, people have finally realized that it's a good way of telling a story. It's like a soap opera is all it is. Next chapter, next chapter, next chapter. It's a never-ending chapter.
I agree. And as long as there's good stories, people will read them.
James Tynion is another one. That's right, Thorough. And that's what you want. You want game changers, guys who are reinventing. Because every 10 years, you're going to get a wave of guys that come along that just do what Neil Adams did for art and J. Scott Campbell did for art, and all, you know, McFarlane and those guys. Like I said, think about it. Like I was talking to Jim Starlin, and he told me that people are coming up to him. And this is when the Avengers movie came out, and people were congratulating him. And he says, "You know, I wrote that over 30 years ago." People had no clue. Everybody loves the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Story arc that was written 30, you know, most of that stuff incorporated is written 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then, like I said, and I've said it before, they based the MCU on those stories because they need our money.
Yeah.
The people that are over the age of 30. You made the movies and start off with movies about stuff that's happening now. None of us can relate to it. The kids aren't going to the movies on their own. And it's genius. It's poke at the nostalgia of us guys who remember this stuff when we were kids. And the guys who have money to go to the movies and buy all the stuff and you know, whatever they make, and we suck it up. We buy the shit because it reminds us
complete idiot and run into the store and buying shit.
Yeah, and it keeps us young. It makes us feel young, right?
Yeah, Wesley Campbell said a good thing. He said Cates on Spider-Man will be so much fire. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I don't know if they'll ever give him the reins for that, but man.
Do you two have a hard time explaining to someone who only watched the movie how comics are the foundation of the said movie? Not necessarily that it's the foundation, but I think some people do think, well, yeah, the comics helped, but not understanding that without the comic, the movie doesn't happen. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's you know, I know it had something to do with comics, not realizing that they're writing the actual stuff that these guys put in the books years ago, not just writing in characters that were created 30 years ago. They're using the stories.
Question for you. Do you think sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. Yeah, disregard. I lost my thought there. Old age.
No worries.
Yeah. Good.
No, did you get your thought back?
No. It's fucking gone. That thing is floating around there. I'll get it in a week or so, and it'll come back to me. Explaining to someone. This is what I was going to ask you. Are you considered the movie guy where you work at? The comic book guy where you work at?
Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, I got my boss was at a flea market like 2 weekends in a row, and all of a sudden I get a call like a Saturday or Sunday, and I'm like, everything okay? You know, he's like, yeah. He goes, I'm at this flea market. Like, they got this book. Is this worth anything? What? That's not what I expected.
So I do love to point out things to people. So like, I'm sitting down and a movie's playing on the TV while everybody's having dinner at work, and it's 300. And guys like, this is my all-time favorite movie. I go, you know, it's a comic book, right? He's like, no, it's not. I was like, absolutely is. I said, you ever see Sin City? Comic book also.
Yeah.
Oh boy, comic book. And you just start rambling. Blade, comic book. You just start rambling. It's like with all these people watching these TV shows on Netflix. They don't know. A lot of people don't know that was a comic series. You know how many people loved The Boys and didn't know it was a book?
Yeah. Oh, lots of people. That's, you know, he was eligible for senior citizen.
Yes,
going to Sizzler.
I had a senior moment.
He gets 50 cents off of coffee.
Right. I want the movie ticket ship, and even the movies aren't open. David the Cave, this is spot. I know that's Dave's favorite movie.
Dave, yeah, that book he has is sick.
That was beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. But that's a guy who's gone downhill, though. If you watch, like, his art has just deteriorated so bad.
Really?
Frank Miller? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Some of the sketches he's done, they're terrible. Terrible. It's good stuff, though.
What we said. Yeah, The Walking Dead is another Chase House, another good example.
That was
many
huge.
People watched. I had no idea it started off as a comic book. Yeah. And it's funny when you watch the interview with the creator of Walking Dead. What was it slipping my mind? Kirkman, yeah. When he talks about how nothing was sticking and he just started writing, and they're like, so you're gonna have zombies, or what are they doing? He's like, sure. And he goes, they kind of misunderstood what I was writing, but I went with it, and it ended up exploding.
He flat out lied to them. That's why I think the print run on that book is only like 2,500 or 3,000. That's the reason, because they thought it wasn't going to last more than 6 to 8 issues.
Right.
And that thing blew up. I mean, they thought it was going to be something with an apocalypse with heroes and everything else, and zombies were just a little part of it.
Yeah, right. People from outer space and stuff.
Yeah, he changed it all around.
He's like, sure, that's what it is.
That's genius.
All right. Well, we've been going for almost an hour now. A lot of great content, man. I really appreciate you being on. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate if you're watching on the rewind in the chat. Please give me a thumbs up if you have any advice. Something you'd want to see, something we could do better. Just put it in the comments. I'd love to read that stuff, whether you're, the show's over or you're watching our rewind. Hit that thumbs up. Follow us. Hit that notification bell. Follow Erod. All of his information is in the description of this video. His Instagram link and his YouTube link. Always putting awesome content out there, showing some great books. Anybody who's watching know that to be true. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Tell us what you're doing. What do you got going on? What do you want to tell us about? Push yourself. And
couple more videos coming out from that gigantic collection. So a lot of books are starting to get graded. I think I got 15 books that have been graded now. Some really nice books. And for those that don't know, I run some raffles on IG. I actually have a really nice book on IG right now. So stop over there. Take a look at it. I've got a ASM 101 and a 6.0. It's almost closed, so there's still some spots there if you guys want to jump in. There's a couple of minis left. Great opportunity for $5 or $10 to win a $400 to $500 book.
Nice.
So that was it.
That's it. And like I said, man, I appreciate you coming on episode 2. Tune in episode 3 next week. I haven't reached out to who I'd like to have on, mainly because I'm going on vacation Sunday. So if I have them on, it's going to have to probably be Saturday at 6 o'clock. Just a time change, a day change, just for the 1 week. I take my family on a little vacation, but if you can't make it, watch on the rewind. So on behalf of 3 Men in the Basement, Everett Otto, Nemesis Prime, Dave in the Cave, I'm Roger. Thank you, E-Rod, for coming, and we are out. Peace and good night, Canada.